Hey guys, so a little while ago, Dodie Clark posted a video on her vlogging channel with Hazel Hayes just talking about how much they share online and on social media about their mental health and how detrimental that is. It is so important for people to talk about it, and yet no one does. And it's definitely something that I related to on both ends. And if you haven't watched it, you really need to go watch it to understand this video. And it's just generally really thought-provoking. Basically, Dodie posts on Snapchat a lot while she's in these really dark episodes where she is just really not doing well. This is something I've seen a lot of people do in different forms, and it's so hard to have a really strong opinion about it because there are benefits to talking about it, but there are also a lot of consequences. So we want to talk about mental illness and we want to break the stigma of it, which requires people who are mentally ill talking about it and putting it out into the world and making sure that people know that these are feelings that some people have, and it's not weird and it doesn't make you bad. It's just something that some people experience. However, there comes a point where you can share too much and it can be really destructive. Dodie explains that it's a cry for help most of the time, and she kind of hopes that her friends will see it and that they will go to her and comfort her, but she doesn't want to ask for it because it makes her feel weird and kind of pathetic. And these are definitely things that I relate to. I think a lot of us have been feeling really bad, and instead of going to someone directly to ask for help, we post it somewhere where we know someone will see it and hope that they come to us. I have complicated feelings about using social media posts as a cry for help from your friends because I understand that sometimes it's hard, and yeah, sometimes you can post something and someone will reach out to you and that feels really good. But at the same time, sometimes you won't get a response back because people who are seeing it don't know if you want help or not because you haven't gone to them directly. And I think it's especially bad when these posts are made in the darkest part of the episode that you're having and they're really morbid and scary. Those things should not be posted on social media. I think if you want to talk about something publicly, you need to work through your own feelings before you post it. And something I've recommended doing before that I still stand by is writing in a journal. And then when you're ready to post about it and when you've dealt with your feelings and put them somewhere that's just for you, just for your eyes, you can put whatever morbid stuff you want in the journal. Take out what's productive in that. Take out the things that will actually help people feel less alone and not just validate the really negative and scary feelings that they might already have. And then post that somewhere and try to make it less morbid than what you were actually experiencing in the moment because you already got them out in the journal. You can't just post it on Snapchat and randomly talk about how hopeless you feel and how your life has no purpose because that's scary and some people just can't handle seeing that out of the blue. And I do think another conversation has to be had about how you go about talking to people privately about these issues as well. Sometimes that can be too much also, and it's hard to navigate, especially when you're really upset. So it's important to kind of come to some sort of routine that you put yourself in when you're going through that. I've definitely had to have several conversations with lots of different people about how we talk about our mental health because a lot of times lots of people are struggling with mental health. Sometimes it's your best friend and sometimes you need to communicate about how you deal with these things because it's really scary for both people involved when you're talking in the middle of this breakdown. And the first step starts with actually contacting someone and not just posting it on social media. Secondly, there needs to be some warning of the seriousness and the potential triggers or whatever that this person might be talking about. It's really hard to hear someone, especially someone that you care about, just immediately jump into really negative thoughts and really scary ideations that they might be having at the time. And you just need some sort of warning that that's what's going on. And I found that something that works with communication with me and some people is if we say, hey, I really don't feel well right now. I'm feeling really scared and I just feel like I need to talk through this with someone. Can you be that person? Like, do you feel up to that right now? And as the other person in the conversation, you need to know yourself well enough to answer that question, honestly. Because if someone is feeling really poorly in the moment and they ask you to help, you're gonna want to say yes. But when someone is dealing with this really scary experience, you don't want to say you can do something that you can't. And you don't want to get too overwhelmed to talk to them in the middle of the conversation once you've promised that you would be there for them. And that's the point of them briefing you about what's going on before you actually start the conversation. So you have a chance to say, hey, I'm not in the headspace to deal with this right now. And as the one asking for help, during that conversation, you need to be ready to listen to the person when they try to comfort you. You have to acknowledge that you're listening to them, otherwise the person is just not gonna know what to do and they're gonna feel like they're making things worse. It's just gonna mess up the whole conversation and potentially make your mental state worse. So I think those things are really important. Basically, try not to post things on social media in the midst of a breakdown until you've had time to process your own feelings and take out what's productive from those and share them, because it's just not productive to say all your negative thoughts in one social media post. It's not productive. It won't make you feel better. Jodie reads a text from her friend where she basically says it's like eating empty calories, and that's so accurate because you think it'll make you feel better when you post it all, but it doesn't because you haven't actually gotten any help from it. You've just word vomited all your feelings and it just won't help you. And then also just know how to talk to someone when you ask for help. It's really important to have conversations with the people around you and say, hey, have I ever overstepped boundaries when I've shared my feelings with you? Or is there anything I could do to make you feel more comfortable in those situations? And then really commit to making those changes if needed. It really makes everyone feel better if you just talk about what you need in your time of crisis. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time I make a video. Also, I'm scared to say this because now I'm committing to it. I am gonna do Veda, or try to. Look forward to that, maybe. I'm gonna try my best. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, I'm scared.